Hello again and welcome to another video from the Marketing Study Guide. In this video we're going to have a look at how we take the customer retention rate and turn it into lifetime value so we can work out customer lifetime value. My name is Jeff and I'm a long-term lecturer and practitioner. Okay, let's start by looking at the simple version of the customer lifetime value calculation. As you can see, we have to work out or need to know how much profit we make per customer per year. So that's sales revenue versus product cost and any other cost of retention that's in the customer. Then we multiply that by how long we will have them as a customer. So profit times number of years gives us total profit for the customer. And then we deduct the acquisition cost. And this assumes obviously it's a new customer that we have to acquire, and that gives us an estimate of lifetime value. But in here we've got to work out how long are we going to keep them for. Okay, so how do we work out this beforehand? We don't know until they stop being a customer how long they last. So what we need to do is use the retention rate of the average customer. Okay, as you might know, retention rate is the percentage of customers we keep each period, ideally per year basis. So they started buying from us this year and they're still with us next year. We retain them for that 1 year. And how long is that going to take? And now, an important metric that we need and helps us understand the period of lifetime of each customer is the churn rate. So the churn is just the opposite to the retention rate. It's the loss rate, how many customers we're losing. And these numbers will always add up to 100%. So 75% customer retention means that we lost 25%, or the 25% of customers churned. At 60% retention, we've lost 40%. And then we use that information, that churn rate, the second number we've calculated, to very simply work out the average lifetime of a customer. The formula is just 1 divided by the percentage rate or the decimal. So if we have 80% of customers retained, 20% churn, and our calculation is 1 divided by 20% or 0.2, that means our average customer lasts 5 years. And there's some calculations going down to the bottom one there, 40%, which means we'll only hold them for less than 2 years, 1.7 years. I've just included this graph to show the impact of retention rate and lifetime period. So here's the number of years on this side and the retention rate. And I've just put this orange line in the middle there because at this point we're retaining them a very short period of time. And at the 50% retention rate, our average customer stays with us 2 years. And even at 60% here, it's still quite low. So all this work that a marketer might need to do to get retention rate from 10% to 50% to 60%, yeah, that will make a difference. But the substantive differences will come if we can get customers into the 70 to 80% retention rate. And as you can see, we've got this dramatic upturn. So here our payback is not going to be as effective. Moving from 20% to 30% retention, sure, that's great. But as compared to 70% to 80% to 90%. Okay, so remember, this is the average lifetime rate. This is not all customers. This is just in the middle. So I'm using this one here, 80% retention, and that's an average customer of 5 years, which is in the middle here. And you can see years running along the bottom. And we start with 100 customers. After a year, we've got 80 of them left, and into the second year. And then it's 64% and it just compounds down. But what you can see is by year 5, we've only got just over 40% of those customers left. So it sounds weird. Oh, gee, our average is 5 years. More than half of them are gone at 5 years. The reason it works out is we have a long tail of customers, and we've still got at year 20, we've still got customers, and we've still got 10% of customers 10 years plus out, as you can see around there. So that's how it works out. So even though we have an average of 5 years, by the 5 year mark, more than half those customers will be gone. So But this is how the formula works, and this is how we work out customer lifetime value. So just as a recap, for this formula here, this part, lifetime period, we use the churn rate. The churn rate is 1 minus our retention rate, and then we just divide our churn rate into 1 as a percentage. Okay, hopefully that was helpful for you, and please check out my other videos on YouTube.